Your ability to focus has been deliberately stolen from you. You are losing hours every single day to a trap you cannot even see. Today, I'm going to give you the one iron rule that will permanently destroy your distractions. But first, you must understand why you are failing so miserably right now. You sit down at your desk with a massive list of tasks. You promise yourself that today will be highly productive. Then, your phone vibrates just once. You tell yourself it will only take a second to check that notification. 45 minutes later, you are still mindlessly scrolling through short videos. You snap out of it, feeling completely disgusted with your own lack of discipline. You try to force yourself back to work, but your brain refuses to cooperate. The words on your screen blur together. Your mind feels foggy, sluggish, and desperately craving another hit of cheap entertainment. Why does this happen every single time? The answer lies in how your brain processes dopamine. Your modern environment is engineered by billionaires to hijack your attention span. Every app on your phone is designed like a slot machine to keep you hooked. They want you distracted, because a distracted mind is a profitable mind for them. But I will show you how to break their grip on you later in this video. First, we need to look at what distraction is actually doing to your brain structure. Every time you switch your attention from work to a notification, you pay a heavy cognitive penalty. Scientists call this phenomenon attention residue. When you look away from your deep work to check a simple message, your brain does not immediately switch back. A significant portion of your focus remains stuck on that trivial message. You return to your important task, but you are now operating at a fraction of your mental capacity. This is why you feel utterly exhausted by noon, despite achieving absolutely nothing. You are constantly tearing your attention into tiny, useless fragments. Multitasking is the greatest productivity lie ever sold to the modern worker. You cannot do two things at once. You are simply rapidly switching between them and destroying your brain's processing power in the process. If you want to achieve anything meaningful in this life, you must master the art of deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It is the superpower of the 21st century. While everyone else is drowning in a sea of notifications, the deep worker builds empires. But how do you achieve this elusive state when everything around you is screaming for attention? You might have tried turning off your phone or downloading blocking apps. You probably noticed that these superficial tactics rarely work for long. You simply find another way to distract yourself. You reorganize your desk. You stare at the wall. You suddenly feel the urge to clean your entire room instead of writing that report. Distraction is not an external problem caused by technology. It is a profound internal problem caused by your inability to handle emotional discomfort. When a task is difficult, boring, or anxiety-inducing, your brain desperately seeks an escape hatch. That notification is just a convenient excuse to flee from the pain of hard work. You are using cheap dopamine to self-medicate against the discomfort of growth. To fix this, you do not need a better app. You need a complete psychological paradigm shift, and that is exactly what the Iron Rule will provide. But before I reveal the rule, you must accept a harsh truth about your current habits. You have trained your brain to be weak. For years, you have rewarded yourself for quitting at the first sign of mental strain. Every time things got hard, you opened a new tab. This neural pathway is now heavily ingrained in your mind. Undoing this damage will not be comfortable, and it will not be easy. You will experience severe withdrawal symptoms, just like a drug addict. Your brain will scream at you to check your social media feeds. It will convince you that you might miss out on something extremely important. Let me assure you right now, you are not missing anything important. The world will not end if you disappear for a few hours. Now, let us prepare your environment for the Iron Rule. You must treat your workspace like a sacred temple of productivity. Remove every single item that does not directly contribute to the task at hand. Your phone must be in another room, completely out of sight and out of reach. Out of sight literally means out of mind. If the phone is on your desk, a part of your brain is constantly expending energy just to resist it. Eliminate that friction entirely. Close every single unnecessary tab on your computer browser. You are preparing for war against your own lazy tendencies. Now that the battlefield is clear, we can introduce the core strategy. The secret to indestructible focus is not found in complex systems. It is found in extreme, almost painful simplicity. The iron rule is about removing choices. When you have too many choices, your brain naturally defaults to the easiest one. We must eliminate all secondary options. This rule has been used by history's most prolific writers, thinkers, and creators. It forces you to confront the work head-on, with no possibility of retreat. Are you ready to hear the rule that will change your professional life forever? I call it the do it or do nothing protocol. This is the single most effective way to reprogram a dopamine-addicted brain. Here is exactly how it works in practice. You define one highly important task that you need to accomplish. You set a timer for a specific duration, let's say 90 minutes. During these 90 minutes, you are only allowed to do two things. Option 1 is to work on the designated task. Option 2 is to sit there and do absolutely nothing. That is it. Those are your only two choices in the entire universe. You cannot read a book. You cannot doodle on a piece of paper. You cannot get up to make a cup of coffee. You certainly cannot look at your phone or browse the internet. You either stare at the blank screen or you write. You either look at the complex spreadsheet or you analyze the data. At first, you might choose to do nothing. Your brain is stubborn and it will try to call your bluff. You will sit there in agonizing silence. The boredom will quickly become physically uncomfortable. Your mind will race, searching desperately for any source of stimulation. But because you have removed all other options, it has nowhere to go. This is the critical moment of transformation. You must embrace the excruciating boredom. After 10 or 15 minutes of doing nothing, a miraculous shift occurs. The difficult work suddenly begins to look significantly more appealing than the boredom. Your brain, starved of cheap dopamine, will finally accept the hard work as a viable source of engagement. The friction of starting completely evaporates. You will begin to work not out of sheer willpower, but out of a desperate need to escape the nothingness. You have effectively weaponized your own boredom. By removing all low-effort, high-reward distractions, you force your brain to engage with high-effort tasks. This is how you build an ironclad attention span. The first few times you apply the iron rule, it will feel like torture. Do not surrender to the discomfort. Every time you stay in the chair, you are rewiring your neural circuitry for success. You are teaching your brain that hard work is the only path forward. Soon, you will find yourself entering a state of flow much faster. Hours will pass by in what feels like minutes. You will produce a higher quality of work in 2 hours than most people do in an entire week. This is the true power of undivided attention. The modern world is a loud, chaotic, and relentlessly distracting place. But you do not have to be a victim of your environment. You have the ultimate power to choose where you direct your conscious awareness. The do it or do nothing protocol is your shield against the noise. It strips away the illusions and leaves you face to face with your true capabilities. Stop making excuses about being too tired or lacking inspiration. Inspiration is a luxury that professionals do not wait for. Amateurs wait for the perfect mood to strike before they take action. Professionals sit down, eliminate all other options, and let the work dictate the mood. You must decide today which category you belong to. Will you continue to let cheap dopamine dictate your future, or will you take back control of your mind and build the life you actually want? The choice is yours, but the consequences are permanent. Implementing this one rule will require immense courage initially. You will have to face the uncomfortable silence within your own mind. But on the other side of that silence is absolute mastery. Your goals are waiting for you in the realm of deep, uninterrupted focus. Stop giving your precious energy away to companies that do not care about you. Reclaim your focus. Set your timer right now. Lock your phone away in a drawer. Look at the one task that will move the needle in your life. You now have two choices and two choices only. Do the work or sit in absolute stillness. Let the boredom break your resistance. Watch how quickly you transform into an unstoppable force of productivity. Your new life begins the moment you refuse to be distracted. The Iron Rule is simple, brutal, and flawlessly effective. The only question left is whether you have the discipline to use it. Start your timer, make your choice, and never look back.